Shalom. I want to give all honor, glory, praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace, salutations to the hopeful elect, scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, learning or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. Shalom. Today I want to get into Revelation 7:9, considering the great multitude. Because in this chapter, let's get into it. Revelation chapter 7. You see in verse 4, it's going into the 144,000. Because the elect, that's the elect, they were sealed among Israel. So let's read it. And I heard a number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all tribes of the children of Israel. So, and then when you read on, it's going and gives you like 12,000 from each tribe. Because 12,000 from each tribe, 12,000 from 12 tribes, that adds up to 144,000. So let's read on to verse 9. And after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed in white robes and palms in their hands. So it's no man can number. It's a great multitude which no man can number. And we see that, a lot of people stumble on this when they see that it's saying all out of nations, kindreds, peoples, and tongues. And when you get into this word kindreds, in the blue letter, this is a Strong's G 544-3.
Strong's G 5443. Fule.
Is saying A. In the New Testament's all persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob, a nation, people. So it's talking about Israelites when it's saying that this kindred, man. So they're not. That's why you got to go into words. You got to get into the Hebrew and then into the Greek. So people stumble on this because they think it's saying that it's going to save other nations, but it's false. That's not true. The great multitude is the children of Israel. And the difference of them is the 144,000, the elect. The first fruits. The rest would be the great multitude, which you can't number, like I'm saying, like I'm getting into, because they're different, scenarios which Yahweh Shai is going to use them to serve, like certain members of the children of Israel outside of the 144K. So let's get into it again. Let's read this again. And this I beheld, lo, a great multitude which no man can number, and of all nations and kindreds, people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed in white robes and palms in their hands. So I'm going to get into to show the clarification, like how this is the children of Israel. Of course, I already showed the kindreds, but we're just going to get more into it because Israel was scattered across the four corners of the earth. Let's get this. Psalms chapter 22. This is David speaking. Psalm chapter 22. And then verse 22. And I declare thy name unto my brethren. In the midst of the congregation will I praise thee. So this is, like I said, this is King David speaking. And who are his brethren? They're Israelites. Let me back that up with the book of Romans. Romans chapter 9. Verse 3, for I could wish that myself were accursed from a Mashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoptions and the glory and the covenants and the law, the service of God and the promises. So this is all pertaining to the Israelites. This proves Israelites, they're the ones that have been adopted back to the Father. They're the ones that are going to receive the glory. In the covenants, the old and the new covenant is for the Israelites, which the new covenant will be fulfilled, when Yahweh Shai returns and he beams up his elect, and also we know that the great multitude is going to be saved as well. So that's what we're getting into. So giving of the law was given to the Israelites, Psalms 147, the service of God as well. And the promises, all the promises that come through Yahweh, come from Yahweh Shem Shai to the elect and the the great multitude who to receive the promise to inherit, everlasting life, to receive salvation. But we know, Khan, that also that there's going to be a rank between the 144,000 and the great multitude. So this is a different rank. Let's get back into now Psalms. That's why it's important. We hope to be of that number. That's why we endure. Psalms chapter 22, and I'm going to continue on. Verse 22, I will declare thy name unto thy brethren in the midst of the congregation. I will praise thee. This is his congregation of Israelites. Verse 23, ye that fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai, praise him, all ye seed of Jacob, glorify him and fear him, all ye seed of Israel. Good. Verse 24, for he hath not despised nor abhorred the affliction of the afflicted, neither hath he hid his face from him, but he cried unto him, he heard. Yeah, he's going to hear us, That's what he's hearing us right now. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to hear us in the time of our affliction. Yahweh Radazah. Verse 25, my praise shall be in the great congregation. I will pay my vows before him, before them that fear him. So this is why we got to fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It's really important to fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Verse 26, the meek shall eat and be satisfied. They shall praise Yahweh Shem Yahushai that seek him. Your heart shall live forever. Yeah, because the meek shall inherit the earth. And, those are the ones that are going to be fed, that have faith and works towards Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And they don't rely on the flesh. They rely through spiritual faith, and so on and so forth. And having, never giving up and believing in Yahweh Shem Yahushai till the end, enduring to the end, hoping that they shall be saved through faith, not through anything carnal, like stocking up or anything. So let's get back into Revelation, chapter 7, verse 9. After this, behold, I lo, a great multitude, which no man can number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So we see, it's proving this is Israelites who stood before all nations, kindreds, and people and tongues. You see an example of that in Acts, the 2nd chapter, how our people, were scattered among people, in nations and in tongues. And they were speaking, the different tongues, and they were able to understand each other. When one person was speaking a language, and they would be able to understand it, and they would speak their language, and they would understand it. So Khan, let's get right here. Let's back this up. The Revelation 7 and 9. Let's back that up with 2nd Esdras, chapter 2. Start at verse 35. Be ready to reward of the be ready to the reward of the kingdom, for the everlasting light shall shine upon you evermore. That everlasting light, that's that understanding of the scriptures. Yahweh Shai is a light. He's shining within us through the light. Also, like the Holy Spirit, the Comforter. Verse 36, flee the shadow of this world. Receive the joyfulness of your glory. I testify my Savior openly. We flee from this world by putting on a new man, by taking up our cross daily, it's just being sanctified. Of course, we did the water baptism in Yahweh Shai. Now we're being sanctified through the scriptures, growing day by day. And enduring to the end, hoping that we shall be saved. Verse 37, O receive the gift that is given you, and be glad, giving thanks unto him that had led you to the heavenly kingdom. Arise and stand up. Behold, the number of those be sealed in the feast of the Lord, which are depart from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of the Lord. Yeah, so they departed from the shadow of the world, because like Scripture say, they love not their lives unto death. And then that's something we're not gonna do. In this walk, we're not gonna love the world. Apostle John said not to as well. And then also when it's telling you, it's getting into that garment. Like Isaiah 61, it tells you that it's the robe of righteousness. Having no iniquity. Being blameless. before Yahweh Shai, roughly paraphrasing, because that's what we want to be, blameless. You want to have a blameless garment in righteousness, because this truth and understanding is our righteousness. So Sukkot verse 40, taking thy number, O Zion, and shut up those that are thine, that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. Yeah, and Zion, that's the children of Israel. And Zion clothed in white. So verse 41, and the number of the children whom thou longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord, that thy people which have been called from the beginning may be hallowed. Yeah, hallowed means to be made holy. So Khan, this is the same multitude in Revelation chapter 7, verse 9, what we just read. Verse 42 backs it up as well. And I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Sion a great number, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. So that's that great multitude. And we see that the saints are Israelites. Let's get that as well. Verse 8. And this Revelation 19 and 8. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. Yes, so the saints are Israelites. In that fine linen, clean and white. So that's what we go to Revelation, back to Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. It shows you, that they were, clothed in white robes. How it says, before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So they're clothed in the white robes with palms in their hands, and that's what it said in the second Esdras. So that great multitude is Israelites. Con. So yeah, let's get Revelation chapter 5 and verse 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book. And then the book, that's his Bible, and we're singing this new song in these last days, Khan telling our people to repent and to believe in the gospel, to the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and to to not take the MOT to the B, so on and so forth, and to come back into the ways of the principles of Yahweh Shai, Hebrews 6, and follow Yahweh Shai. We ought to walk as he walked, man. So Khan, let's continue reading on. Thou art worthy to open the book. It's like thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. And we get that kindred, it's the same kindred that is in Revelation chapter 7. See, it's saying of the 12 sons of patriarch Jacob, a nation of people. So it's just letting you know they're Israelites. So Khan right there, this is that book, like I was saying, that Bible, and the scriptures say, we were sold unto our enemies, and no man shall buy thee. So this is how us being redeemed back. We're being redeemed back by the scriptures, and ultimately we'll be redeemed through Yahweh Shai. It's going to be Israelites who are going to be redeemed out of every people, tongue, and nation. From the four corners of the earth, they're going to be gathered. So let's get this right here. It's Ezekiel. Bear with me. Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 12. As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so I will seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all the places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. Yes, so the Israelites, they're scattered and they're going to be gathered. So like Revelation 5, what we just read, it lines right up with it. And they sung a new song, Thou art worthy to take the book, that to open the seals thereof, for thou was slain and has redeemed us. Redeemed means to be bought back. Redeemed us by God to thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. So by that blood is how they're going to be redeemed, bought back out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. Because they're going to be, of course, that's why you got to do the water baptism, man. It's through that blood. It's important. We want to be partakers of that blood. You know, like it says in Matthew 26, you know, this blood I shed is for the remission of sins, roughly paraphrasing. So this is really important that you do that. And as well, you know, we're going to be, that's how you're going to be gathered, you know, through the chariots, and first, if it's through this word, because we were scattered in the four corners of the earth. Ezekiel 34:13. Continue on reading it. And I will bring them out from the people and gather them from the countries and bring them to their own land and feed them upon the mountains of Israel by the rivers and in all the inhabited places of the country. You know, so they're going to be gathered. You know, this is what's, they're scattered and they're going to be gathered, like what I just explained. So let's get right here. Ezekiel as well. Ezekiel chapter 20. I brought this one out on the block, but I don't want to get this because it lines up right with it. You know, Ezekiel chapter, God will restore Israel to her land. You know, since that's what. So let's get into it. Ezekiel 20:33. As I live, said the Lord God, surely with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, I will rule over you. You know, because Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know, when Yahushai comes back, you know, with his mighty hand, you know, in a host of angels, you know, in the chariots, in the midst of destruction, he's going to deliver his people. Verse 35, and I will bring you into the wilderness out of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. So he's going to plead with you face to face, you know, so this is going into, you know, right there, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to bring us from, you know, gather his people from among the people, you know. So let's go down, verse 42. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh, which shall bring you into the land of Israel, into the country for which I lifted up my hand to give it to your fathers. And there shall ye remember your ways and your doings wherein you have been defiled, and ye shall loathe yourselves in the sight for all the evils that ye have committed. You know, and then, you know, the evils we did, you know, you're going to look back on them. It's going into, you know, and this is the reason we were scattered. You know, we broke that first covenant. So let's get this right here. Is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 1. And it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Lord thy power had driven thee. You see, you know, that's where, you know, we've been driven, you know, driven away from the land, you know, because we could see, you know, like scattered on the four corners of the earth, like even in Peter's vision, you know, the sheep knit on the four corners of the earth, you know, that symbolizes us being scattered on the four corners of the earth. But, you know, we're going to be gathered to this gospel and ultimately gathered by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, you know, the blessing and the curse, you know, we had the blessing, you know, 40 years of peace, you know, Solomon. We had the blessing and then now in the curse. And we're going through the curses right now. So it's going into, like, you know, it's calling on all these things that have come upon us, you know, in these different captivities we are in, or in these other places scattered across the four corners of the earth among the nations, so, you know. Because Revelation 7:9 says, from all nations, kindreds, and tongues, you know, it's the Israelites. So it's calling these things to mind right now is what we're doing. We're calling these things to mind. So, verse 2. And thou shalt, and shalt return unto Lord thy power, and shalt obey his voice according to all that I have commanded thee this day, and thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul. To this con, you know, we're obeying his voice right now. You know, we're obeying the voice of the Father, you know, to the best of our ability by taking heed to the scriptures. Verse 3, then Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither Yahweh thy power had scattered thee. So you see in the book, Revelation 7, it's the same situation. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is gathering the Israelites from all the nations and kindreds and tongues, because the seed of Israel is among them. Many of the prophets went into this as well, like we just read Ezekiel, so it's letting you know that it's talking about Israelites, because they're the ones that are scattered, and they're going to be gathered through the Spirit, and then ultimately gathered through the chariots. So Khan, this is continuing on, cause it's going like that. Revelation 7 and 9, we're gonna be gathered, cause we're scattered in those places, and it's all a part of the curses as well. Is why that we were being scattered, the curses that came upon us, and that's just part of scattering. Let's get into that. Read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So what's one of the curses? Let's go down to Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among the people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So we see it's going to be among all nations, kindreds, and tongues, meaning by tongues meaning different languages, and the Khan, this is just letting you know right here that it's all that Israelites are all among the planet Earth. The seed of Israel is among them, man. And then they're unrecognized, because in the book of Numbers it says that we shall not be reckoned among the nations. That's why Israel, they come in back by the word, by the Spirit. We try the Spirit. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, has his men, that preach the word, the ones who have that lot to be a prophet, and we identify them by trying the Spirit. Because we don't look on the outward appearance, like the scriptures say not to do that, so any through the Spirit they could be potential members of the elect, and it says like that they should by following neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. That's going into that wood, that's Christianity, and the stone would be Muslims, like following these philosophies, so on and so forth, these false religions. Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 3. And then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither Yahweh thy power has scattered thee. You're going to turn away the captivity, no more. It's not going to be no more this mental slavery going on, being subject to payments, and of course the slavery, what our forefathers went through as well. This form of slavery, serving our oppressor and being subject to payments, is not going to happen no more. God, just continue reading on. It says, verse 3, and then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion on thee, and I will return. He's having that compassion, on us right now by giving us this word, this truth. Like scripture say, the truth shall set you free, what Yahweh Shai said. Reading on, and I will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether Yahweh thy power has scattered thee. We're going to be gathered from the world, of course, through the chariots, and we're being gathered right now through this word, like I was saying. And of course, it's going to be before the destruction kicks off. This is when the chariots are going to come and save our people, the Israelites, the ones who were chosen. And it's going to be during World War III. Many are called, few are chosen, and not everybody's going to make it into the kingdom. So let's get this. The book of Baruch chapter 4. Verse 36, O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from God. Lo, thy sons come, whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of God. So that, this is going into, he sent us away by scattering us, So Khan, it sent us away, like it says in verse 37, in Khan, taking away our identity, so on and so forth, and it's from one end of the earth to the other end, from the east to the west. So it's bringing Israel back, the Israelites among the different nations in tongues, like what Revelation 7 says, roughly paraphrasing. Yahweh Shem Shai, he's going to open us up and wake us up, give us that breath of life and turn us back to our power and heritage. And one of the greatest things happening on this earth right now is the gathering of Israel. So let's get this right here. It's in Baruch chapter 5 and verse 5. Arise, O Jerusalem, and stand on high, and look about toward the east, and behold, thy children gathered from the west unto the east by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the remembrance of God. So it's the remembrance of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because we are remembering right now, that, we're remembering ourselves, remembering the scriptures, waking up, this breath of life, like I was saying, Ezekiel chapter 37, Baruch chapter 2, it goes into this as well. The ones Yahweh Shem Yahushai gave his law, statutes, and commandments to, through Moses, those are Israelites, the promising, the promises, the promising that we will get this everlasting life, and salvation, it belongs to the Israelites, to the Father, he made a covenant with our people, so that this could be put into remembrance, it will be fulfilled, that new covenant, we'll have the laws in our inward parts, we just have to fulfill our course and remain faithful, hoping that we can fulfill that and get that Yahweh Razal through faith and works, because this will be a deliverance by enduring to the end, and that's that great multitude, of the Israelites that will be scattered among nation, tongues, and people. So let's get back to Deuteronomy chapter 30, read verse 4. If any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will Yahweh thy power gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. So if you're of Israel and you're on the island, Yahweh Shem Yahshai will gather thee from wherever you are across the four corners of the earth in this world, scattered. He will get his people, man. So verse 5, and Lord thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. So after this captivity, it's going to be blessings upon blessings brought back into the land, the motherland, Jerusalem, where that's going to be, the main headquarters of the kingdom that's going to be set on earth, because that's the motherland. Verse 6, and Yahweh thy power will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed, and the love of Yahweh thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul, and thou mayest live. And that's because, these laws are going to be in our inward parts. Verse 7, and Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and all them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Yeah, everything that we're going through, the other nations are going to have to go through. These curses, they're going to get put upon our enemies. So this is the book of Daniel. Back that up with the book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 44. In those days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. So it's going to be a kingdom that's going to be because we're getting up a kingdom right now by the word, waking up our people, this breath of life, like, it says, like, that's why it says in Matthew 24:14, that this gospel shall be preached across the four corners of the earth, then the end shall come, because people are waking up, this kingdom is being set up, the people are being sealed. These other nations are not going to be a part of it. They're going to be slaves. And the kingdom shall not be left to another people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Yes, these other kingdoms, they're going to be destroyed. All other nations and kingdoms, they're not going to be all the other nations, kingdoms are not going to be running. They're going to be destroyed. Yeah, so Revelation 7:9 is talking about our people being gathered, from the four corners of the earth, where the Yahweh Bashim Shai scattered them. So Yahweh, as all this was edifying. Shalom.